I have 6 grandchildren, and I'm crazy about them. And I speak to them every single day. Not a joke. Matter of fact, I just got finished going through the calls, and only one of them answered the phone. But at least I got to leave a message.
Why don't you take the big bed tonight? You deserve it.
Thank you, Grandpa.
What's up, guys? It's your boy, Benny. Very important life hack. How do you know who is a scumbag? Well, a good measure of that is whether they acknowledge the existence of their children or their grandchildren. If you have a terrible relationship with your kids and grandkids, that means you're probably a dirty, dirty person. And Joe Biden has finally acknowledged the existence of his 7th grandchild after 4 years! Ladies and gentlemen, what a great guy! He let Navy Joan Roberts Biden, who is the child that Hunter Biden had with a stripper that Joe Biden refused to acknowledge, live inside of a chamber of torture in Arkansas without any father and without any family and without any money. Joe Biden, such a good person. Well, Biden finally acknowledged her existence after denying it repeatedly on camera. Like, for instance, remember the first time he was asked about the existence of this biological grandchild? Went like this.
If you have a comment on this report and court filing out of Arkansas that your son Hunter just made you a grandfather again.
No, that's a private matter. I have no comment. But only you would ask that. You're a good man. You're a good man.
Thank you, guys. This is all the time we have.
Look at the viciousness, the vindictiveness, man, the feline nature, right? The passive aggressiveness. The truly most sinister, most seething individuals on earth are these passive aggressive people that are trying to trick you, right? This is the worst possible behavioral pattern of a person, right? When they're truly ugly and vindictive inside, but they try and play it like they're this old gingerly grandfather. What a vicious monster, we said when seeing this footage for the first time. But now Joe Biden is out with it, saying, I have 7 grandkids every day. I text them or call them every day, Joe Biden says. Got it? Man, dude, even the hacks on CNN couldn't stomach this. On CNN, they went to effectively a brawl, turned into a brawl on Sunday when they brought up this subject matter. It was super awkward for everybody involved, and it turned into one of the guests saying Joe Biden is a literal scumbag. Watch.
So one thing that we heard some of the GOP candidates bring up in Iowa, President Biden is now acknowledging his 7th grandchild. There was a statement out on Friday night. Our son Hunter, they said, and Navy's mother London are working together to foster a relationship that is in the best interests of their daughter, preserving her privacy as much as possible going forward. This is not a political issue. It's a family matter. Jill and I only want what is best for our grandchildren, including Navy. So just for a little bit of context here, the president had come under scrutiny for only acknowledging his other grandchildren, his first 6 grandchildren, I shouldn't say first 6 grandchildren, but the others that the family has acknowledged who have the Biden last name. And his family ultimately decided to do this. And Michael LaRosa, you worked for Joe Biden for a long time. Can you help us understand this a little bit? Because I do think for many of the critics, certainly, and there was a Maureen Dowd column about this in the New York Times, this is a very innocent little girl who did nothing wrong. Despite, what her father, Hunter Biden, may have been going through at the time. Why now for the Bidens? And honestly, why did it take them so long?
Well, 2 things. First of all, I respect you as a journalist for having to ask the question, but it is a very gross and uncomfortable subject to talk about as it is.
Well, let's not call a little girl gross. Okay?
No. I'm talking about the inner sanctum of a family and the privacy of what goes on in a family. And you're right, that little girl, she should not be weaponized by the Republicans who are down there in Arkansas with conservative lawyers and conservative PR people and posting on their Instagram. They shouldn't be weaponizing her. And everybody's welcome to make their own personal judgments on the Biden, but it is frankly, they are They are a family, a real family with real feelings, with real struggles and challenges, like every family. And I guarantee you that the more that the Republicans make this an issue, it will not work. Voters appreciate, voters relate to having struggles in their own families. They root for people with vulnerabilities. They root for people who understand and relate to them. And, you know, ultimately, the Bidens are a real family, just like everyone else.
Sure. But Scott Jennings, the president has made being a family man a central part of his political identity.
It's not Republicans, with all due respect, who made Hunter Biden into a complete scumbag on this and other issues. The ignoring his own daughter for 4 years, and the president of the United States hanging up a stocking for the dog, and not for his seventh grandchild.
Okay, look, we can also have sympathy for people who are struggling with addiction. Let's keep this conversation respectful.
Listen, I totally agree. And you know where I'm from, a lot of families deal with addiction. And you know who ends up picking up the pieces? The grandparents. And in this case, the grandparents would not acknowledge this little girl. It is offensive. But the bottom line is...
But they have now.
Oh, what a hero. The polling must have been brutal.
The
polling must have been brutal.
No one ever questioned the heart and integrity of Joe Biden as a family man and as a human being, and the pain and suffering and loss that man has been through, including the struggles he deals with.
30 seconds, Karen.
I think it is far more appalling to see Republicans this week, starting with you, Scott, calling the Vice President of the United States a liar when it comes to the very real personal stories. I don't need, some, academic to tell me about the horrors of slavery. It's in my own family. I know from my own family stories. You now have black conservatives who agree with her. Are they liars too? I think that conversation is far more troubling than an addict and a bad family situation.
Let me put a pause on this. Last word here, then we're going to go to break.
It's a nice attempt at a pivot, but it's not about Hunter Biden's addiction. This is about Joe Biden not recognizing his granddaughter for 4 years. The statement might be well worded, but it's inexcusable. It took him 4 years to acknowledge the child of God that was conceived regardless of the circumstances of that conception. It's a child of God he wouldn't recognize for 4 years.
I understand why you'd rather talk about that than talk about the fact that your party is demonizing people who want to tell the truth about racism while you're trying to reach out to African American voters.
We're going to keep this conversation.
Yeah, so maybe it's best if you are doing Democrat PR media training to not be so on the nose about what your training is. Oh, when they're talking about something I don't want to talk about, just talk about President Kamala Harris and racism and Florida's curriculum. The person who's hosting the debate says, we're going to talk about Joe Biden acknowledging his seventh grandkid. I don't want to talk about that, so I'll start talking about Kamala Harris in Florida. It's amazing. And then the Joe Biden simp. I don't like this line of questioning. This line of questioning is gross. No, dude, you're gross. You're the people who won't acknowledge an actual grandchild in your family. God. Maybe it's best for the grandchild. I've been thinking about this for a while. Maybe it's best for the grandchild. Joe Biden's a really creepy dude. You don't want Joe Biden sniffing you, smelling you at Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner. Joe Biden saying during this same interview, my family, when they want to get an important message to me, they tape it on the mirror in my bathroom. So they have to go into the bathroom with Joe Biden in order to get an important message across to them. Joe Biden also, I guess, confirmed that he showers with his daughter because Ashley Biden's diary, which says that Joe Biden had inappropriate showers with her as a little girl, has been confirmed now by Project Veritas. Ashley Biden saying, "It's my stuff," on the phone call. So, yeah, again, maybe kid, maybe you dodged a bullet here. Maybe not having the Bidens claim you is you should be breathing a breath of fresh air, because this family seriously has trouble, deep trouble, and is in deep trouble, and now everyone's turning on the family, and that's just the way it goes for evil people. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not evil. We're here to fight evil in its most modern form, which is communism. And so please like, share, and subscribe to our channel to end communism. It's your boy Benny. See ya.